Why hello everybody, Spencer here, also known as ScreenSpeak, and in today's video, this is my Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning spoiler review. So without further ado, let's discuss. Alrighty everyone, so I'm here to discuss, as I just mentioned, talk about the Final Reckoning, the final Mission Impossible movie. And just to get out of the way, I'm disappointed. I enjoyed myself at the theater. That's all I'm gonna say. I mean, this review, like the rating at the end of my review isn't gonna be that drastic. Like, it's still gonna be a decent review, but I was hoping for big things. Like 2 years ago, when the last one came out, I loved it. It was my second favorite film of the year. Across the Spider-Verse was number 1, and this was number 2, and John Wick 4 was number 3. And I actually have a video to watch after I make a couple videos, this one and another one, and about the ballerina film embargo, like the critic score, whatever, like what people think about it, like review embargo, and I'm like, ugh, and I'm like, I'm excited for that one, but regardless, we're here to talk about the film today. But there's a good, like, 80% and 90%, 80% critic and 90% audience on this film, and I had a good time with it, seeing it on the big screen. Tom Cruise came out, had a message on screen beforehand and saying, like, thank you so much for watching this film on the big screen. This is cinema. This is what it's supposed to be. Christopher McQuarrie directing this, and like we worked together, put a great spectacle on screen for you. And there's a lot of great spectacle and stuff. And I'm gonna get into like specific scenes and like specific moments later, but there's the main thing I gotta address. I gotta get this out of the way. The music. It disappointed me on all accounts. The best thing about this movie was they used the motifs in the the main theme, the bum 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 bum, and then the motifs like da 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 throughout the movie. And there's certain moments it feels like Dead Reckoning, but Dead Reckoning was so much better, and I'll tell you where, and I'll tell you as to why. I was thinking about this a couple days ago. I watched Dead Reckoning on end, and I can tell you moments. I've listened to the soundtrack with this mobile device, walking around my college campus, right? Multiple times. I will actually listen. That's one of my favorite soundtracks to listen to. Fallout is also great as well. Lorne Balfe is a fantastic composer. What Joe Kramer does with Rogue Nation is phenomenal. Michael Giacchino, I love Michael Giacchino. He's great in the Mission Impossible role. Danny Elfman is one of my top composers. He's the first composer. Hans Zimmer does Mission Impossible 2. These composers, I don't know who they are. I could give 2 squirts about who these guys are, about who did the music in this, and it didn't feel like anything. Music, the soundtracks, some specific movie soundtracks for me have to tell a story. When I listen to Across the Spider-Verse, there's like certain ones, like The Incredibles 2 or Across the Spider-Verse tells a story. Dead Reckoning, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning tells a story. It tells a complete musical story. I can tell like what's happening in certain scenes. And in this movie, I listened to the soundtrack before the movie, and I'm like, yep, not as great as Dead Reckoning. What are you gonna do? Like even Fallout has great moments where you're like, this scene kicks butt, this scene kicks butt, this scene kicks butt, and for the soundtrack. And I'm just watching this movie going, I don't care. Even when, like, specifically when Tom Cruise is underwater in a sub, which is one of the best scenes. I'm like, there should be music here to elevate the scene. Not literally elevate like Tom Cruise did, but I'm confused. Like, I just, the music in Dead Reckoning elevated the movie for me. And I'm watching this going, so I hate, like, at part 1, like, Dead Reckoning, like, it's part 1 now. I'm like, well, I guess every time I go watch part 1 now, I'm just going to be disappointed with part 2. It's cool. You know how Avengers Endgame, like, this is the point I'm going to make. Infinity War and Endgame are the best 2 parts of a movie franchise there ever are as of now. I want Beyond the Spider-Verse to be that companion to the first one. Like, they have the same composer, and I hate movies like Guardians 1, 2, and 3, where it's like Guardians 3, like, it's just like, like, that's my problem with Guardians 3, except I like this movie better than what Guardians 3 did, because at least I had the crew there, or at least I had the... Still felt better than Guardians 3, but it still kind of lacks that issue I have with Guardians 3, because there's that Guardians 3 soundtrack is just very... But I don't want to go into that right now. We're here to talk about this. I just wish there was more, like, Dead Reckoning had it had great pacing, it had great music pacing, too. I think that's the thing about the music, it had great music pacing. It's the best. It's the best. Dead Reckoning is so I know you could ranking later, but this movie just pulled me out with that, and also Luther, I just felt like he was so quick to go. Apparently he had cancer, and I don't know. We just lost a crucial member of the team. It was so sudden. I was like, oh, okay. Like, it wasn't like even a fake out death. It wasn't even like, it wasn't even like like, I miss you. It wasn't miss you. It was just like, here, take this and run. I was like, what? Okay, he's gone now? Okay. I don't know. I really don't know what to say. Grace did stuff. Like, the underwater stuff was cool. Grace put him up and went... Kind of like... but they showed a lot of stuff that was pulling back from the original movies. Like, the first movie, the guy with the glasses back with the knock list when they were in that room when he was like... Ethan was like hovering like this. Very classic scene from the first one, and the guy's back. So, I like that guy when he's like rushing into the bathroom and stuff. Very cool stuff, because I did watch all the movies in preparation. Very cool stuff that they're bringing all these movies together. They show moments from all of them, like even number 2 and 3. And they bring the rabbit's foot in, and Gabriel's like this. Gabriel's talking about the rabbit's foot, mentions what it is. And like the stunts are just incredible. We got the airplane scene, the underwater stuff, and there's this whole sequence in the house, or there's a house that's on fire, the safe house where they meet the guy from the original. But there's moments like, it wasn't like Dad and I were talking about afterwards. And like, it doesn't feel as actiony. I'm like, yeah, like there's like a big shootout scene where like the base is in the like the last act of the movie. But I'm like, this is like, I'm not gonna go back and rewatch this movie. I already feel it in my gut. I'm not gonna go back and rewatch this. And not just in the theater, but like in general, like Dead Reckoning was so good that I'm left disappointed. I'm glad I saw this on the big screen, guys, but like I have like nothing. Like I was tense. Like the last airplane scene was tense, but I really got to go through like a list, like check out like what's my favorite stunt, because I'm like watching the airplane scene going. Like when I count a stunt, I include the car chases, and I was watching this car chase scene in the theater going, I love this car chase. I love what's happening. All right, so he's gonna drive the car, and yeah, there's the airplane that's taking off. It's gonna go right to the airplane scene, and I'm like, cool, this is what I saw in the trailer. And pretty much, you know what people got mad at about the last movie was, oh, well, we saw that ramp-up scene in the trailer thousands of times, so it's got to be here. Like, when he's on the motorcycle, oh, he's got to be doing the ramp scene soon. And then it felt so, like, lame. That people were like, oh, I've seen this before in the commercials. But I'm like, right, but there's been other stuff in Dead Reckoning, like, that was crazy. Like, the whole train scene was crazier. I was like, whoa, this the train car scene. Like, boom, boom, boom. There's nothing in Dead Reckoning, there's nothing in the final Reckoning that made me go, oh, wow. The only things I saw in the trailer were the underwater stuff and the airplane stuff. I literally did not jump out of I mean, I did a couple times to go like, whoa, I didn't expect that guy to shoot or whatever. But, okay, for some guy to go get shot, like, Benji was bleeding to death. I didn't know if Benji was going to make it, but I wasn't going, like, because of a character, right? I thought that, like, a stunt didn't make me go, oh, wow! And that's what these movies should do, and I didn't get that. In Rogue Nation, I got that. Like, again, I've only seen one of these. This is my second movie in theater. But in the theaters, I mean, I've seen all the rest of them at home, but I'm like, watching them, I'm like, whoa! But that's okay. By the way, Katie O'Brien, who's in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania as Jentorra, in Twisters as one of the Tornado Wranglers, in The Mandalorian, and in Love Lies Bleeding. She's sexy. And yes, I'm using that term here, and I have not said it before about other women, girls, but she is sexy. She deserves the right to be called that. And she, oh my god, in this movie, I was like, yes, my savior. Sorry, she's a bodybuilder, and she's hot. So anyway, she was cool to see in this movie. And then she's in the room. There's like Tom Cruise was like on under the ice, and then he's getting sprayed with hot water, like a shower of hot water. And I'm just like, all right, Katie O'Brien, I see you staring at Tom Cruise muscles there. You hold back there, Katie. You hold back. But I was like, that's pretty cool that she's just staring at Tom Cruise's muscles. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say anything else. I'm gonna get off that subject. I'm gonna get off that horse. But I like seeing her in this. Hannah Waddingham, I just heard her voice as the High Councilwoman in Lilo and Stitch. She's in here. Nick Offerman's in here. It's cool to get some new additions to the cast, and also Degas, the character named Degas, who's in the last film, who was with Shea Whigham. Shea Whigham is the actor who played Captain Stacy, who's Gwen Stacy's dad in Across the Spider-Verse. So he's in this one, or he's in the franchise. He was in the last one. And Degas joins the team. Pom Klementieff, who's Mantis, joins the team here. But again, Luther's out, and I'm just like, we kind of get sidetracked from Tom doing his own stuff, and like Grace is with them now as well. And Kittredge is back, but it just feels like we're doing like a lot of like sideline things. Oh, and Angela Bassett's back, but you know what really drove me nuts about this movie? And the White Widow's gone in this movie, so like she's just excluded. And you know how I get like the last one didn't have. So this isn't bothersome because I love Dead Reckoning so much. But Alec Baldwin, who was in Rogue Nation and Fallout, and he's not in this one. Oh no, wait, he died. So sorry, he died in Fallout. I was like, oh yeah, he's not in this one. So never mind. Angela Bassett's back. So, but the White Widow's gone. Yeah, Alec Baldwin died in Fallout because I was like, wait, where did he go? No, Jeremy Renner. I wish Jeremy Renner would come back, but that doesn't matter because he left. But the White Widow, where was the White Widow? That also made me mad. The White Widow and Luther were my two disappointing factors. And the music. So, I don't know. The stunts were really cool in and of themselves, but I really have nothing else to say. And I know that's frustrating as a spoiler review. But I have a couple other points. I'm gonna have a couple other points. But one was the Benji bleeding out to death. They, by the way, they succeeded in their mission. That's all I'm gonna say. They succeeded in their mission. Spoilers. And the Benji bleeding out to death, he survives, so I'm not really sure how. I mean, I guess he does. I guess it's just like a medical thing. Okay, he survived, yay. But then all the characters walk off in their separate ways, like Grace, Degas, Pom Klementieff, Mantis, Paris is her name, Benji all walk off, and then Ethan Hunt walks off, and then the end credits roll. But like, I don't care if this is the last Mission Impossible, it's fine if it is. I had something else to say, but I'm gonna make a ranking of all the Mission Impossible films and a ranking of my top 5 or 10 favorite stunts, depending on what I want to do. Stunts, maybe 10. So those two videos I'm going to plan and get them out at some point. And yeah, I'm going to do that. But again, it's like, I'm just annoyed with this film. I'm not like hatred towards it. I still enjoyed it. I just wished it was better. A little bit too long, like some scenes could have been trimmed out, but oh my gosh, I had something else to say, and I don't remember what it was. Goodness gracious. Pom Klementieff, Mantis, no. Shoot! I love forgetting things. I remember now. It was that the credits roll. The thing about the last movie where it was like, bum, 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 it was like, end part 1. It was like, Mission Impossible, like Dead Reckoning, end part 1, or whatever it said. I think it was just like, end part 1, like, good luck, Ethan, and it went to the bum, bum, and then it went straight to the credits. But you know how Rogue Nation Fallout, actually, I think it was, maybe Ghost Protocol did it too? I can't remember, I gotta go back and check. But Rogue Nation and Fallout both had like this epic, you know how before, like, Pixar films will have like the animation end credits? Other films do too as well, but like, animation end credits, and then it's like the actual scroll. Things like that. Like Marvel will do that as well. And it's like Mission Impossible had that for Rogue Nation and Fallout. It was like do like all the cast and stuff, like with the little like map. I love that. And they should have like this is their final film. They should have ended out with a bang, and they missed it. They missed it. But again, I mean, they didn't do it for the last one. I mean, they did like that end part 1, but they didn't do like end part 2 or end the big saga, and it was just like it should have just and then they could have gone into the scroll, but like I was like, really? Like, show all the actors. You know how like Endgame had like all these had like the main on end? Do something like that. If this is your final film, I'm not saying it's a load of garbage, but I'm saying it's a big disappointment to end your supposedly final film on that. I don't know. It's just like okay, I'm done. Like I was like, yeah, this is a cool theme. And don't get me wrong. I should have prefaced by saying this. I love the Mission Impossible franchise. It's my favorite over Star Wars. And I know how much I've been like ranting about this movie. I love Mission Impossible over Star Wars. I really do, actually. It's just kind of my go-to. I love James Bond over Star Wars. I mean, I love this Mission Impossible over James Bond. I've just never been a James Bond fan, and I've said like, okay, if there's another James Bond in theaters, I'll watch it. But like after this movie, I'm kind of actioned out. Like I'm gonna go watch Ballerina, but I'm like, this film, like, I need better action. I need better action movies because this was just like a. Oh wait, what's happening? Like there were kind of scenes where I was doing that. I'm like, okay, but like, can we speed it up? But regardless, I had a great time. So this Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning is going to be. I don't even want to like say how low it is. It's just a 7 out of 10 for me. It would have been way higher if it was epic. But I mean, I think like Dead Reckoning is like a 9. I don't know. It's just so good. This movie is a 7 out of 10. 3 out of 5 stars on Letterboxd, and an A- for entertainment. A-. Not even just an A, like an A-. A-. Or I would even say like a B movie. It's a B movie. I'm gonna have to think about it, and like when I post it on Instagram. If you do follow me on Instagram, I'm gonna have to like decide on I'm gonna have to ask my dad, like, do you think it was a B or an A-? So I'll think about that. But I recommend you go see this on a big screen. But it's not that memorable. Dead Reckoning is more memorable. But stay tuned for my ranking of the Mission Impossible movies, my ranking of Mission Impossible stunts. So that's on the rise. And as always, guys, I got my Last of Us review coming out. Rick and Morty has just started as of last night today. I haven't watched the episode yet. And next week Doctor Who ends. Lots of stuff coming to the channel. This summer's crazy bonkers. I've already mentioned that in a podcast episode. So stay tuned for what's coming up as we continue rolling. Don't forget to keep calm. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me where you can on social media. Don't forget to keep calm and watch the screen. And be sure to accept the mission if you choose to accept. And this video will self-destruct in 5 seconds. Peace out, everyone. Bye.